Hello everyone! So I haven't done a video like this in quite a long time, but I believe that when the thoughts like this come to me, I need to get them off my chest in a video, because obviously I enjoy doing videos anyway. And for those of you that are new to my videos, just please know that I am not those type of people that try to use bigger words to make it seem like I'm more intelligent than I am. I'm simply just trying to share my understanding and knowledge on awakening to help people be more aware and awake, basically. It's kind of hard to put all of this knowledge, that all my experience, into one video, and I know that people don't like too long videos because attention spans can be short. So for the people that are watching who are not as awake or don't read or hear or experience awakening yet, I think the best way to try and explain it, I'm sure that everyone can relate to the film The Matrix. I think that is the best way for people to start to kind of tweak into it and understand what I'm trying to talk about if you're not more aware of it all. The Matrix is a really good metaphor for the reality that we live in and awakening. Basically, there's type of people that awaken to the world around them, and like in the Matrix, and they choose to go more into it and know, even though they know that it's not as pleasant, it's not as nice, it's not as fantasy as the world that we think that we live in and that we're taught that we live in when you're not awake. It isn't very nice waking up to the truth. But some people, there's two different types of people in the way I see it. There's type of people that start to wake up and continue with it, even though they know that it's not as nice, because it's like waking up from what you thought was the truth but isn't. You can choose to go into it and learn and awake even more and eventually even become enlightened, or you can choose to go back to sleep and live in a world that you know isn't the real world, but you're living with everyone else and following everyone else. I purposely chose, when I started to wake up, I feel like I've always kind of been awake but never really understood it. I chose to continue to awaken even more because I found the advantages in becoming awake and more aware of the world that we live in and the surroundings and energies and all of it, like chakras, your third eye, pineal gland, everything, all of it. It so interests me, and it makes far more sense than when I was asleep and all I would do is want to watch TV and be brainwashed in my spare time and be closed off to the real world. But yeah, when I use the term depressed, like depression. You're going through depression when you're awakening. For me, that's the first sign of awakening, is depression, because you're awakening to the real world. And it's like, you know, in the Matrix when he wakes up, and it's really hard for him because he's so used to being asleep. And it's hard for people to face the truth, basically. People choose not to. When you're depressed, for example, I went through a time when I didn't care what happened to me. I was so anxious and kind of sad in a way, because like I victimised myself in what had happened to me in my life. That wasn't my fault. I victimised myself. I didn't really have a care in the world what happened to me. Like throughout school, I didn't really care if I got into trouble. I found it fun. I didn't really care if I stuck up for myself and got into a fight or something. My tummy just made a weird noise. I didn't really care if I got into a fight and it escalated into a horrible fight. I didn't care. I was so in like the state of mind of, I am sick of this world and I'm sick of the people in it. I was kind of in a state, and I'm sick of what has happened to me, and it shouldn't have, because that shouldn't have happened to me. But when you start to awaken from depression is when you start to accept. Acceptance is a big part of awakening, accepting what has happened to you and realise that it's not your fault and you can change, you can control your life. Acceptance in what has happened isn't so bad, and you can learn from that and improve your life. You can change it around, and everything has happened for a reason in order for you to wake up. The big part of awakening is the choice to carry on living a miserable life or awaken. But when you're in that state of depression, it escalated even further, where I started to wake up to things around me. I started to wake up to healthier food choices, like even in film, like you start to wake up to food choices, like, because you're more aware of what you're actually eating. You're more aware of the animal that has had to suffer its whole life just for this one selfish meal that you're about to eat. It's like you're more aware in the moment of what you're actually doing in each choice that you make, and you're more sensitive to people's energies when you're awakening. You're more sensitive when you're going through that state of depression, of awakening. You want to be more closed, you want to kind of hibernate in your own little world, because you're more sensitive to other people around you, because you find that everyone else around you is asleep still. Certain people, you can relate to certain people, but certain people feel like they're more asleep and you're more awake. Like, you're more sensitive to the drama and conflict that people are trying to cause, because you've tried so hard to feel good, and you're awakening to feeling good, and you know that you don't actually need all that drama and negativity around you. And then when you've got like certain people that you used to be around, when you start to come around them when you awaken, you realise like what they're trying to do to bring you down, and none of what they're saying is actually irrelevant to making you feel good. So you're more sensitive to people's energies, and like you can feel yourself. You're more aware of your inner body, your inner self, how you like to and want to feel and can feel. So when you're around other people and they're negative and they're closed energy, it affects you because you're sensitive to it. You can feel their inner self, you can feel their negative situation and lifestyle and where they're at. You can feel it, and you know that it can affect you if you let it, so you choose not to let it. And it's hard enough to feel good on your own, so you don't want to be around people that you love and know that can easily affect you if they let you, so you find it harder to be around certain people. Like for me, for instance, when I was like coming even more into awakening, even meditating nearly on a daily basis, I found anxiety in going out in the street. I could feel everyone around me, and I was anxious about the fact of leaving the house, basically, which many people don't even know, wouldn't even think, but I kept it all to myself, because it's good to keep things to yourself to understand it more, and other people don't understand, and then they try and influence what they think is happening to you when they don't have a clue what you're going through. They try and influence you that what you're going through is wrong and it isn't right, and you should live this certain way, you shouldn't live that way. They're trying to influence you on their life and where they're at, but really you're the one who should be influencing them, and you're the one who's in the right because you're actually waking up. So it's better to keep it to yourself when you're in that state of depression and awakening and being sensitive to people. Keep it to yourself and know that you can choose to make the difference, and this ain't going to last forever. You're just waking up and you're finding it harder to live because you're waking up to the truth and the stuff like... I went basically a whole year without watching telly. Obviously there was the odd times, but I found it even hard to watch telly because I was more aware of the subliminal messages and how certain programs would drain my energy. I'd be sitting there feeling dead when I haven't even done anything. I'd just been sitting on the sofa for hours watching mindless, stupid, pointless dramas that only made me feel worse than when I did watch the telly. It's just a distraction, do you know what I mean? It's a distraction to how you can feel. It distracts the truth. It makes you, his subliminal messages in your mind without you even knowing. It makes you feel a certain way that you don't want to feel. It makes you feel worse than when you actually watch the telly. It makes you think pointless thoughts. Makes you question your own life, like when you watch those really rich programs, and then it makes you question your own life and feel shit about your own life. Pointless. Dramas. People become addicted to dramas because it makes them. I can't stand people that are addicted to dramas now, because I know that I used to be, but it's because if you're not getting it in your own life, you get it from telly, and you try and cause it on other people. You are what you watch, basically. You are what you watch, it's a fact. You could be having a lovely, wonderful, smooth day if it's going smoothly, and you watch some negative drama, pointless or sexual stuff, and then you purposely go and try and create a worse day, or you attract a worse day. It's hard to explain all of this, but just know that when you're awakening, it really is a good thing. You might feel like you're alone, but in reality, it is the total opposite to that. When you're conscious, you are the total opposite to being alone. You, in fact, are connected to everyone, because everyone has love, and love is the real connection that we all have in this world. And that's why they say one love. One love, we are all connected by one love, and you are connected to the conscious power of this world. And that is why people like the government and the media constantly try and make us become apart, because we are less powerful when we're apart. When we're all one, when all is one, and you're in your heart and your soul and you're awake and your consciousness, that is where the true power lies, is love. So that is why people try and pull us away from love and make us think irrelevant bullshit. Say it how it is. That's all I can do. That's how I'm trying to express how I feel. You become less interested in bullshit. You ain't got time for that. It's not the truth. You know it's not the truth. But you can have the fun of knowing the difference. You can have the fun of going into the world that everyone else lives in who's asleep, and enjoying fun stuff and adrenaline and stuff like that. But you can also see and be aware of the truth, and also enjoy the intimate, private, peaceful, conscious, awake powerfulness of being present and enjoying the truth, the way that you actually should feel. I'm going to leave it there before I go on one and talk far too much. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate anyone who watches my videos, but know that I'm just trying to share my knowledge and help. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!